Welcome to Margaret Town News. Today, I'm here with my first story time. So I have a special guest, and she's also my director. And the story time is about my life, my whole life. I'm 54, versus my friend's life. She's 9, and she's not going to be in the picture, but she's going to be talking about her life. Thank you for joining me here, my 9-year-old friend. You can say hi.
Hi.
Okay, so my life when I was born, I was born in I was born from my mother, of course, and then I lived in the house, and I was always wondering where my mom was, and she was watching TV. So that was a finger accidentally. That's okay. So let's see. My favorite thing, probably.
Hurry up.
I'm trying to think of a favorite thing. I know what was my favorite, and my dad's honey that he had bees, and also one of my really favorite things was liverwurst. That when my dad would go shopping, he would come home and he would put the shopping bag on the table, and I would dig in their bag and get the liverwurst, and I would be so excited to eat it. And then
My turn.
okay, then it's my guest's turn. She's going to tell about her life.
So basically, how my life was when I was a kid, I was very happy. It was fun because I got to enjoy everything. And one fun thing that was my favorite was having my grandma and my grandpa with me. It was fun and cool because I had beautiful rainbows in my life and beautiful sunshines like stars. Got to see beautiful stars. And one cool thing is that I used to live in a very, very far away place versus where I am right now. I am in America and I used to live in India. So that's a very, very, very far away place. And one thing I liked about when I was first of all, starting with school. So basically, I started school and I was like sitting down and I had a best friend named Jessica. I can't give her name, so I'm gonna call her Jessica, I think. So I don't really remember, but I think her name was Jessica and she was my favorite friend. She was very beautiful by that time. And I wonder what she's up to right now and doing, and if she misses me or not. I know she does miss me. I don't know if she forgot me or not. So one favorite thing I liked was that when you're born, you just have the happiest rainbows and beautiful stuff in your life. Time for a 54 years life, how it was what the worst thing was in the 54 years life.
Thank you. The worst thing in the 54-year life, I think I'll say one thing that when I was 6 years old, I had to walk to school, and it was so cold that the buses were not running, so the bus didn't come to pick us up, so we all walked to school, and I got frostbite on my feet, and I remember the worst part was when my face hurt so bad from the cold. It was so painful, and I kept begging the kid in front of me, and I was trying to let him have him let me use his face mask. And he would not let me borrow his face mask because I told him, I'll borrow your face mask and then I'll give it back, and then we can both have a warm face. And he said no every single time. So my face hurt super badly from that day. That day that was so cold. It was very scary. So, yeah. So,
9 years.
It was very hard. I will just say. So it's time for my director to have her turn again.
So basically, one worst thing that I had in my life was when I was a baby, like 7 bees came up and bit me. And one amazing thing and the worst thing is that I didn't cry when 7 bees bit me when I was a baby. And it was a miracle for me and my family. One worst thing, worst thing happened is when I was basically walking to school, well, not school, I was home, and one worst thing that almost made me cry was my grandpa and my brother my grandpa drove the bicycle, and my brother was sitting, and his leg got inside of the tire. It went round and round, and this is his leg, and it cut half of his leg off. It was bleeding with a lot of blood. And so when they came back, it was pretty very sad. It made us kind of disappointed about how my brother was in a lot of pain. And one sad thing that happened to me in America was when my grandpa died. Now it's 54 years. This is the last round. Now it's the 54 years old turn to tell one of the coolest thing that happened to her in America, and one of the worst thing that happened to her in her Alaska.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, so one of the coolest things that happened in America was probably meeting my friend here. My 9-year-old friend. She's very good. Yeah. And yeah, and also another cool thing about living in the lower 48 of the US is that it doesn't really get cold here. Not like in Alaska where it's the cold is just brutal. And then from Alaska, what was it like? One of the sad things or good? One of the worst things? Well, I think one of the worst things was from Alaska was, gosh.
Bully.
I know what it is. Well,
Bully.
Okay, so one time my mom left my brother and me with the babysitter, and this bully broke into the house that we were at, and we were hiding upstairs, and then the babysitter had called the police, and then we were waiting for the police. We were really have to be very quiet, so the guy, it was in a bad neighborhood where the babysitter lived, and so there was some drunk man that broke in to the house, and he was trying to catch us, but that was really scary. But he didn't catch us, and the police came and took him away. So But that was a pretty scary thing. And he's kind of like a big fat bully. So now it's my director's turn again.
Okay, so one cool thing that happened when I was in America is when I had I was about to say when I got Margaret, but she already said it, so I can't say it. So one cool thing that happened was I got a best friend named Musin. Now she's the worst friend I ever had. And if I click the star, okay, we'll go later. Okay, so one cool thing that happened, worst thing that happened in my country was when, let's see. Okay, so one worst thing that happened was when I saw my cousin's mom hitting my mom. So she came over and they had a talk and she let all the kids out basically so they don't know and they don't get afraid and sad. And I looked through it was a glass door so we could see everything. So I looked through and I saw her hurting. Wait. Oh no, that wasn't my mom and my cousin's mom. That was my friends and my cousin's mom. So I had a friend, her name was Ashley, and her mom and her cousin moms were not good people. And like her cousin mom like always hurt her mom. And that's the story in the end of story time.
Thank you for watching Margaret Tone News. So feel free to hit the subscribe button if you want to, of course.
Bye bye.